football season here in the Big Apple and perhaps major pro sports in general has gone down the tubes. We don't need bad omens to tell us about that, but Monday night, we got one.
Giants taking on the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium on Monday Night Football. First play of the game, Dak Prescott picked off by Antoine Bethea, setting up the G-men early. But with 3 chances inside the 10-yard line, the Giants were unable to capitalize, culminating with this misfire to tight end Rhett Ellison. Giants settled for the field goal. Early second quarter, Giants looking to get in the end zone. Daniel Jones drops back and finds Golden Tate, who hauls in a remarkable one-handed acrobatic catch at the 1-yard line. Flashes of OBJ in prime time also against the Cowboys. Jones then finds Cody Latimer for the 1-yard score. Giants take the 9-3 lead following the missed extra point. But here's where things would take a strange turn. With 5:40 remaining in the half, a black cat, yes, a black cat darts across the field, halting play.
That was strange. I didn't exactly know what was going on at first, but yeah, you don't see that every week.
Just over a minute to go in the first half, Prescott rolls out and finds Blake Jarwin, who goes 42 yards to the house. Cowboys pull within 2. With limited time in the second quarter, Jones throws a desperation pass intended for Darius Slayton, but Xavier Woods says, "I'll take that," giving Big D a chance to take the lead. The turnover allows a 52-yard field goal try for Maher, who converts right through the uprights. That makes it 13-12 as Dallas takes their first lead into the break. We go to the fourth quarter, Dallas leading 16-15, 3rd and 3. Dak showing off his wheels, effortlessly securing the first down. Then he finds Michael Gallup in the corner, amazing dive over the defender and the pylon. 23-15 Cowboys. Looking to seal the win, Dak connects with former first-round pick Amari Cooper, who gives the ball to a fan, gives the Cowboys a 30-18 lead. The Giants would need a miracle from their own first-round pick, Saquon Barkley, but they did not get it on this night. Barkley stopped for a big loss. Dallas outscored New York 34-9 following the emergence of the Black Cat. Cowboys win 37-18. Here are Shermer and Jones after the game.
I'm disappointed we didn't do enough things to win the game. That's where I'm at. I'm disappointed we didn't win. I think everyone in the locker room is that way, and that's where it's at.
Frustrating. It's frustrating to lose, but we got to make sure that we learn from it and we improve. And I think that's what we'll do this week.
The Black Cat is still at large, by the way. Only good part of this Sunday showdown between the New York Football Giants and the New York Jets is one Big Apple football team is going to walk out of MetLife Stadium a winner. Projections have Gangrene favored, but who knows? 1 p.m. kickoff at the Meadowlands. That Monday night game kicked off the sports week locally. Fordham women's basketball stole the headlines Tuesday night with the kickoff of the college hoops season. The reigning A-10 champs packed the Rose Hill Gym. 3,200 came out to see the Rams square off against number 16 Notre Dame, last year's NCAA runners-up. The Irish prevailed 60-55 in a thriller. It came down to the buzzer. What a night in the Bronx, defeat aside. Here's Fordham women's head coach Stephanie Gately following the game.
Just super proud of the kids. I mean, Notre Dame made that run in the second quarter, and I was a little afraid that they were going to kind of make a run out on us, and we didn't score for like 7 minutes in the second quarter. And I think once we gained our composure and once we cut the lead down, I think our kids finally realized and it hit them that they felt we could win that game.
Who would have thought, other than the kids' game, that we would have this place like this? And that's a credit to everything that Nick did to get everybody here, and our marketing committee, and just the commitment from Fordham. And I want to thank all the fans, the alumni, and the friends of the program, because it was definitely a very special night.
You can see more of Coach and the Rams right here on BronxNet. Check your local listings for the Ram with Coach Gately. More on the return of college basketball in the C-list. We shift gears to the baseball hot stove. No secrets here. The Yanks won the American League East, but after losing out on the pennant, are most definitely in the market for starting pitching of ace-like quality. CC Sabathia was that guy at one point for the Pinstripers. He's retired now, but he could help the Bombers find his replacement. Sabathia was on his podcast the other day, and he talked about how he's been lobbying Garrett Cole to sign with the Yankees, which could be effective given that he has some special insight to this whole thing. Sabathia, like Cole, is from California. When he was a free agent after the 2008 season, there was widespread speculation that he preferred to sign with a California-based team. A 7-year, $161 million contract offer from the Yanks persuaded him to head to the Bronx instead. Sabathia said that a similar approach could do the same for Cole. In other words, pay the man. Reports have the Yanks eyeing Mets free agent pitcher Zach Wheeler as a potential fallback. Other top free agent ace, Madison Bumgarner of the San Francisco Giants, appears to be the primary target of the Atlanta Braves, while World Series MVP Steven Strasburg is said to be a priority for the champion Washington Nationals. CC is making a pitch for free agent hurlers. Former Yankee ace David Cone was making a pitch to be the man in charge of them. Cone was among the candidates for the vacant pitching coaching job with the Yanks, but it appears that job is now going to Matt Blake. In the process, the Yanks have poached one of the key cogs in the Cleveland Indians pitching development machine as the replacement for longtime coach Larry Rothschild. Blake, who was promoted 2 days ago by Cleveland to Director of Pitching Development, adds a coach well-versed in analytics and progressive pitching philosophies. New faces, old faces, maybe some changes in the coaching staff, but sure sounds like we could have a familiar one back in the Bronx in the outfield. The Pinstripers and Brett Gardner have already begun talks about a new contract. A new arrangement between the two sides would bring Gardner back to the BX for at least a 13th season. The 36-year-old had a career year at the plate in 2019, hitting .251 with 28 homers, 26 doubles, 7 triples, and 10 steals. Time for some quick hitters. The Knicks are in Dallas tonight to face the Mavericks and former star Kristaps Porzingis. Knicks fell to Detroit 122-102 Wednesday night. Speaking of NBA reunions, Bronx native Kemba Walker was in Charlotte Thursday night. The new Boston Celtics squared off against his former team, netting 14 points in a win and an emotional evening for the New York City guard. He got a standing O in Charlotte, well deserved. And while we have you stuck on New York City playmakers, how about a nod to Cole Anthony, the son of former New York Knick Greg Anthony? The new North Carolina Tar Heel might be the toast of the freshman class. Anthony popped off for 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists on 12 of 24 shooting from the field. And his first college game, Anthony was born in Portland, but played some of his high school basketball career at Archbishop Malloy. He considers his hometown Briarwood, New York. Sure sounds like the Big Apple's next hoops star. Meanwhile, as for the other NBA local team, the Nets are in Portland to face the Trailblazers tonight. Just a coincidence there. On the ice, the best team in New York right now is the Islanders. They have won 10 of 11, but couldn't keep the 10-game winning streak alive last night, falling to Pittsburgh 4-3 in overtime. Nonetheless, a sensational start to the 2019-20 NHL campaign for the Isles. The Islanders host Florida Saturday afternoon. The Rangers topped Carolina 4-2 Thursday night. The Devils lost 5-2 to Calgary. New Jersey returns to action tonight against Edmonton, while the Broadway Blue Shirts skate again Sunday at the Garden when they welcome the Florida Panthers. In college football, injured Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has a good chance, quote-unquote, to play in the Crimson Tide's Saturday home game against top-ranked LSU if he continues to progress, working his way back from injury. Prime time could be heading back to Florida State. Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders has emerged as a candidate to fill their coaching vacancy. And in the MLS, Toronto FC has transformed into road warriors in the postseason. That could bode well for the Canadian side as they prepare to visit Seattle for one of the league's scariest assignments in Sunday's MLS Cup. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a note on college basketball. There's been plenty of chatter lately about Madison Square Garden and its role in basketball circles. A lot of that stemmed from Kevin Durant heading to Brooklyn to play for the Nets, spurning the Knicks in free agency. This C-list isn't to debate the Mecca in the professional ranks, but it is to make this comment. The Garden may no longer hold the zest it once did in the NBA. but it most certainly does in the world of college basketball. And it's not only great to have college hoops back, but that its return was most felt right here in the Bronx at Fordham Tuesday night, and then down at the Garden, the world's most famous arena, especially when it comes to the college hardwood. The Garden's college basketball season starts with a bang and finishes in similar fashion. The eyes of the sport were zeroed in on MSG on the first night of the season when Kansas met Duke and Kentucky took on Michigan State in the annual Champions Classic. And on the second to last weekend of the year, the arena will again be the focal point as it plays host to the NCAA Tournament's East Regional between March 27th through the 29th for the third time since 2014. Those two events highlight a blockbuster season of college basketball at the Garden, which released the completed schedule this week. It includes the two-night 2K Classic on November 21st, 22nd, featuring Duke and Georgetown, the Jimmy V Classic, Louisville versus Texas Tech, and UConn versus Indiana on December 10th, 7 St. John's regular season games, and the Big East Tournament from March 11th through the 14th. The Holiday Festival is back on December 7th when St. John's hosts West Virginia in the first year of the Big East Big 12 Challenge, and so is the Big Ten Super Saturday as Michigan and Rutgers meet in wrestling and basketball on February 1st. The year wraps up with the NIT on March 31st and April 2nd. It may not be March, but there's plenty to dance about here in New York. College basketball is back, and it's better than ever at MSG and in the city that never sleeps. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C. More Open back after this.